Hey ladies! All right, I'm going to be doing a pre-recorded video for you because my kids are home, and that way if they come in and they need a snack or they get mad at each other for something, I can pause it and you don't have to sit through me having to deal with that. So sometimes they are fantastic and completely forget I've even been here while they're watching their shows. Other times they notice I'm gone and they like separation anxiety, apparently. Like they have to get me involved somehow. So I am going to be doing something I've never done before, and I wanted to show you guys, mostly because I really feel like with our makeup, there's almost no wrong way of doing it. And it's really hard to mess up. So if I do something I've never done before in front of y'all, it probably is going to turn out okay. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to clip my hair back. I cut these bangs. I absolutely love my beautician. She did exactly what I asked her to do, but I don't like them. She was so excited. I know how beauticians are when their people finally let them do something different with their hair. Something maybe a little trendy, because I am in my mid-30s, so I don't typically do trendy things, and she'll get so excited for me. I'm just not digging them. So, and I also did my brows beforehand so that you don't have to watch me do that. So I always feel like they look really weird when I do them before my makeup, but it'll speed up the video for y'all. So today, something I'm doing is I am going to be using a color for color correcting. So I don't normally do color correcting. I am not the type of artist that's like really obsessed with my skin and my face looking absolutely perfect and expecting my makeup to make me look perfect. I am not perfect, and I don't expect my makeup to make me look perfect. I like a really fast and easy and lighter coverage, and if you're gonna do that, then sometimes those little flaws are gonna show through, and I don't care. Like, that is not why I wear makeup. My girls know I don't wear makeup very often. When I do it because I want to look kind of fancy. It's mostly for my eyes. If I want to wear mascara and eyeliner and eyeshadow and look all fancy and dramatize my eyes, then I have to do my whole face. And so, yeah, for my girls, makeup is just like if you're going to put on a special dress for an occasion, like I don't do it because that's just not why I wear makeup. But I know that some people have imperfections that they hate and they want to cover them. That's okay too. Like, if you want a full coverage makeup that's going to really hide things, then I just wanted to give you a video that shows you that our makeup can do that too. Because one of our techniques of applying our makeup is that it's all one layer. Well, this is actually going to not be just one layer because we're really striving for more of a super full coverage, and I'm going to be covering some imperfections. The one thing I don't like about doing this on my camera is I don't feel like you are getting an accurate reading of how blotchy red my skin is. I don't know if there's just a natural filter on my phone. I think there might be, but when I look into my mirror down here, because I haven't mastered the art of actually doing my makeup with my phone, it is much more speckly red, and it shows up way more in the winter when I'm really fair. So I am the fairest that I am right now, and so that blotchy redness seems to just come out more. I also had a massive breakout a couple weeks ago. I think it's just always been hormonal for me. And some months it's hardly anything, and some months it's crazy. So I just got it absolutely everywhere. I sometimes get really big ones, and so it's been bad. So my face, quite blotchy. So my absolute favorite, it's hard to pick a favorite, but if I had to, my favorite Saint artist in terms of like the content that she puts out to help train people, and I mean like their customers, like if you're using it, her name is The Contoured Chemist. I believe she actually lives down in Nixa, Missouri. So I went to school down in Missouri State. So I don't know, maybe it's just because she feels local to me, but her videos are really long, super detailed, and she like knows everything. She's fantastic. So if you want to watch her video, just YouTube The Contoured Chemist. She has a bunch of videos. You probably just want to look for a video that talks about color correcting. So she calls this Magic Mango. So Magic Mango is one of our highlight colors, which is what you would call a foundation color. And it definitely has this like orangey undertone. And one thing that I've learned with Saint is that whenever you're wanting to cover a color or something on your skin that you don't like, you don't necessarily cover it up, you want to cancel it out. So that's why we talk about certain colors that cancel out other colors. And she just uses mango because of this orange undertone that it like cancels out a lot of hyperpigmentations and just all sorts of things. So she always reminds that less is more with our makeup. And so I'm just going to kind of dab a couple times, and I have not used this makeup or this tin, so I might have to, there we go. Now, sometimes they need a little bit of go. So I'm basically just gonna put it on all these areas, and that's too much. That's okay. I'm gonna put it in all these areas that I have this like red blotchiness, which is definitely my cheeks. And I'm just going to be, and that time I just tapped once because I want to do not very much. I only tapped it a whole bunch that first time to try to get that initial. Sometimes I feel like our makeups have maybe just a tiny bit of like a film that you kind of got to get through and break that first time through. My nose definitely looks better right now. This is way better. Okay, I put a little bit too much here, so I'm really wanting to make sure that I'm working this all the way around. I definitely have redness on my chin. I'm going to kind of go there. A little bit above my nose. All right. I just feel like almost my whole face is blotchy right now. I'm going to go ahead and very lightly go right here. I mean, this is a very light color, and it doesn't necessarily match my skin tone. Okay, so that's why I couldn't necessarily just stop with this, because it does have this slight orange tinge, but it's going to help cancel out. At least that's what she tells me. Okay, I feel like right there is always really red. Okay, nose is definitely looking better. Cheeks are looking a lot better. Cheeks are looking a lot better. She used her finger underneath her eye. I have this kind of, and I just tapped it once because she really wanted to emphasize not putting too much under the eye. I have these like purpley veins that whenever you put makeup over these colors, like purple or brown, or even like red from a blemish, it can almost just make it look muddy. So that's why we're trying to cancel it out instead of like covering up with just heavier makeup, because it's still just going to look really muddy. All right, my eyes are already looking way better. Okay, so especially in that area, I'm like that purpley vein color really stands out. So I'm already looking in my mirror. I feel like that red blotchiness is like super gone. I'm not emphasizing my blemishes. That's going to be a video for another day because that's going to be much more spot correcting. So what she talks about next is the fact that whenever you color correct, you can't be swiping your makeup, because then it's just going to move the areas that you color corrected and kind of just blend the colors together, and you don't want to do that. So I'm going to be making sure that I'm pressing into my skin, and like some people call it stippling. Okay, so I'm just going to go into my main highlight, and I'm going to start going where I would normally, oh, I skipped a step that she told me. She always goes in with her perfector sponge in between every layer, so that you're not getting too much. And she said, don't press too hard. Nice and gentle. Kind of pressing it into the skin. I already kind of did that area, but that's okay. But I can definitely feel like it does not feel like too much right now. All right, so I'm just pressing and pressing. So I don't normally do color correcting videos because I usually find that my ladies, that you guys really like quick and easy and basic. And if you're doing a color correcting, it is going to take a little bit more time, right? There's, you know, that extra process, that extra layer, you know, you have to be a little bit more precise in applying your main shade and your highlight shade. So for me, as someone who doesn't want to do this all the time, this would be for more of like a special occasion when I want my makeup to look, I mean, fantastic. So if I'm going to a wedding and there's going to be lots of pictures, I would probably take the time to color correct. And you notice I'm not going where my contour is going to go, because even though I do have this second layer with the mango, I don't want to do like a third layer. Okay, so I definitely feel like my main highlight is just sitting better on my skin. Like it definitely looks more even. And I actually always felt like it looked good before. But this is definitely looking better. We're definitely worth the extra step, I would say. I hope you guys can see. I wish I was better at doing my makeup in the camera like all those fancy makeup ladies. And you see how I'm just pressing, and I'm only tapping once and just pressing, tapping once, pressing. And even though I did my brows before, I am probably going, I'll just have to touch them up when I'm done. So hopefully that won't take too much time for y'all. All right. So now that my main shade is on, I'll go in and do my contour. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's kind of hard to tell for me. Maybe it's showing up really good for you. But one thing that I could kind of show you is like this area right here. If I did it first, it would probably be even better. But Aspen is like the color that I usually use for a blemish, to make the blemish disappear, because brown really helps that like true red color. You see how much more subtle that color is now? And I just take a little bitty bit. And I typically only do this if I have like a massive blemish, like what that was. So that's another color correcting. So if you have acne, like, I guess I just thought as an adult I wouldn't be dealing with this acne anymore. Apparently not. Maybe this one up here is a little annoying, so I'll try to mask that one. Okay. We'll go ahead and do this one too since we're at it. Again, that step should have been done first. So I'm kind of going in and kind of going over top of that Aspen. I should have done that when I did the Magic Mango. So she calls it Magic Mango. So if you got hyperpigmentation, it's going to be really helpful. I've heard some ladies like to use it if they have some Malaysia dark spots. But if it's a real dark spot, a lot of people do Petal. So I'm hoping that I can find someone that will allow me to show a little before and after of using Petal on a dark spot, because that's going to be one that I've heard is really helpful. So now I'm going to go into my brightening highlight. I'm just going to kind of press it in again. I didn't do any color correcting on my eyelids, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm just gonna go in and do this brightening. I don't do underneath my eyes anymore until I've done my eyeshadow. And that has really helped with, because before I would do the under eye, like brightening and stuff, and then sometimes I would have fallout for my eyeshadow and then have to redo it. So I did color correct under there, but I'm not going to do my brightening yet. So I'm going to go ahead and do my nose brightening shade or brightening area. And here I'm going to go in and I'll go in and contour next. Okay. I'm going to use my Detail Hack brush to contour. If you're doing color correction, you are going to probably have to be using your brush if you're someone that's been doing like the spot with your fingers, because you have to blend so much. That's not going to be the best option if you're color correcting, because you do want to make sure that you're not swiping too much and really moving that color correcting color or blending it in with your shades. So I'm trying really hard not to swipe now, which is hard because that is usually how I do my cheek contour, is I just swipe back and forth. So this is a little different. It's okay. I'm gonna just kind of press upward a little bit. I always feel like I do one side better than the other. And I tend to over blend and it disappears. So I have to go back and add just a touch. Okay. I'm gonna go up here. I didn't really do any color correcting up here high on my forehead, so I'm not gonna worry about swiping or not with this area. But I'm gonna blend. I just love blending with our B squared brush. It is just my absolute favorite. But I'm trying not to make too big a movements. I do like to go back underneath my contour sometimes and just really make sure that line is still there and I didn't make it out too big. And then I will do my under my chin. Really like that shadow. My next video I'm going to do is I'm going to do a video where I don't contour. Okay, all I'm doing is I'm going to skip the contour because I know quite a few of my ladies are just really not interested in contour all that much. So I want to show you what that can look like. All right, and now we're going to go back in and just lightly press. Okay, I think when I first started, I was pressing too hard with my sponge. I think maybe it was taking it off a little bit too much. So I always like to tell you things that maybe I did in the beginning that I've learned not to do now. Okay. Always make sure that little crease right there. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and contour under my lip just a touch. I haven't done that for a while. Get that shadow. There you go. Help pout out that lip. All right. So bronzer's next. Bronzer's next. Did I get all the spots? I did not contour my nose. Whoopsie. Wouldn't have been the end of the world. I just want to make sure you guys get the full effect. Now, I sometimes feel like my contour on my nose looks dirty. And I have to say, I think this Magic Mango has really helped my contour on my nose look not dirty. It just looks like a shadow. So I'm really liking that. And like almost like my contour was making my blackhead, like look like blackheads, but anyway, all right, let's get moving. I'm going to try to speed up now that we've kind of done the color correcting. So now you can just see me finish. I'm going to try really hard. I usually go pretty quick and dirty with my bronzer, but I need to make sure I'm not swiping too much since I did a color corrector. If you're someone, you know, we're going into spring, you're wanting to get a little bit of a glow in your face, but we haven't had sun yet. Oh my gosh, you need to add Bella bronzer because it is great. It is great. Great, great. I think I went almost a year with Saint before I did Bella. And I don't know why I waited so long. Probably because I'd used so many bronzers and they just, I feel like they didn't look that good. They were either too light, if they were considered for like fair skin like me, I feel like they didn't do anything. Or they're way too dark or way too orangey. Like especially if you're pale, that orangey color I feel like really comes out. This triangle underneath your chin like never gets color. So that's really where I just put my bronzer, my Bella, just to help give me a little color. And all right, blush, 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 blush. What should I do for blush tonight? Probably something pretty easy, easy peasy. I think I just keep going back to Plum. All of a sudden these last couple weeks, it was, I think, my first shade that I got when I ordered just my first 4 colors, my highlight, contour, and my brightening highlight. Plum was my first shade. And then when I started becoming an artist and I was trying all these new shades, it kind of got back in the back of my kit and I didn't use it for a while. And then all of a sudden I remembered, hey, what is that back there? And I remembered how awesome it was. So don't forget your Plum. Or if you're someone who has a lot of colors, don't forget about the one that started you off. Okay? I have quite a few of my ladies that get a lot of different colors. I would like to remind them to go back to where it all started. All right, now with Plum, since it is a matte finish, I like to go back into Desert Sunset because it's a gloss. And I'll just go over it just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of that glossy color or that glossy quality. All right, so now we're gonna go into my eyeshadow, and I have basically, my day-to-day color that I use, it's called Lullaby. It's just a nice purpley-ish, taupe-ish, just, it's a really good everyday color for me. And I basically just put it on most of my lid. Like nothing real technical. And I will try to go into my crease just a little bit more. Like I'll do another layer on my crease just to give it a little bit more color. And that's it. And then same thing on this side. I'm just going to cover most of my lid. I leave like that inside corner pretty empty. I'm going to go in the crease a little bit more. Okay. Sometimes even it out. I like to go get my fluffy brush every once in a while. The true eyeshadow brush with the fluffy, and I'll just kind of, in case I need to blend it out a little bit more. Because again, I'm going to my daughter's school tonight. I do not need to be looking overly done. And then my other color, you can tell, and I got this, again, it's probably 2 years old. And this is the color I use with every single eyeshadow look that I do. And it is still going strong. So I'm going to put that on the inside corner. And then I kind of go underneath the brow. All right, so now that that is done, I'll go in with my eyeliner. I'm still not done the brightening underneath my eye yet. I will do it as soon as I'm all done. I will tell you guys that whenever I'm not videoing, it probably takes me half of the time. I don't know what it is about talking to y'all while I do it that just slows me down. But if you're looking at the time and how long it takes me, just realize it doesn't take me that long when I'm doing it without you guys. So, but I'll be honest, adding the color correcting step did add some time. All right, so I'm gonna go in. I got a new mascara primer. I've never done an eyelash primer before. Wrong direction. Is that it? Okay. So this I've been really liking. It definitely feels like it's making my mascara more full, my eyelashes longer looking. Just, you know, grabbing all those hairs, I'm guessing. And I even do my bottom lashes. I know like some women like barely pay attention to their bottom lashes, but I like doing top and bottom, but that's just me. And now for the other eye. My phone just showed that my battery is low. I hope I can make it to the very end to show you the very finished product, but if I do not, I will have a before and after picture posted so that you can see if I don't get to brightening underneath my eye. I'll basically just put it here and there, but hopefully we make it. That's why I'm trying to rush. I think maybe one of the reasons why I like the Contour Chemist is because her videos are pretty like slow and methodical because she's like talking things through so much. And so it's very relaxing as opposed to like some videos that I watch that they're essentially they are trying to show you can do it fast. But sometimes that kind of like makes me feel anxious. So that's probably one reason why I love her so much. Her videos just take their time and they explain things really well. Wowza. That is. Definitely can tell the difference. If you haven't used an eyelash primer, I would definitely, I think it's like L'Oreal Voluminous Primer. It's my first one, so I genuinely couldn't tell you if it's better than anything else. But it's definitely better than when I don't use anything. And I've always felt like I had pretty good lashes with mascara anyway, so this is, I need one of those really fine mascara combs or whatever, though. Okay. All right, we're getting there, ladies. We're getting there, we're getting there, we're almost there. All right, so I think we're gonna make it. I always use my, it's called Buffy brush. It's not called that anymore. I have never converted. So I'm just gonna do a couple taps. To brighten under my eye. And again, I am pressing, not swiping, because I did a color correct. And this, I will swipe just a little bit to help with the help with the eyeshadow, but then pressing. Okay. Whoa. Okay. That is a lot brighter. Okay. I will say that the Magic Mango definitely lived up to its name for underneath my eye and my nose. So, in all honesty, on a daily, I would probably only put it in those spots because that seemed to be the place that I had the most trouble, and it is clearly, holy crap, look how bright that is. All right, I'm going to just spruce up my eyebrows just a little bit because I did get a little bit brushed off whenever I was doing my blending and whatnot. I will not spend too much time on them with you guys watching. my OCD tendencies